What's up, tribe? So I'm out here, another creek walk with the dog, get some exercise in, spend some time in nature. And if you're new here, my name's Jacob. Apex is all about humans, dogs, and the foods that bonded us, which of course is meat. And the topic I want to discuss today is actually a fact, and that is that nobody is coming to save you. You're on your own. And I'm not saying that to scare you or to fearmonger, but I'm actually going to highlight why that's a good thing and how you can capitalize on that to make moves now and make decisions that are going to benefit your future and set you up for success. So what I mean by you're on your own and nobody's coming to save you is the fact that we have become so reliant on waiting for somebody to come along and solve all of our problems. And specifically, I think we've become very reliant on the leaders, the people in charge, our government. It really doesn't matter who it is, any kind of person that is in an authoritative position. You know, we've almost gotten to the point where it seems like we have to rely on them. We have to rely on policies and changes and, you know, rules and mandates and all these other things in order for change to occur. But the fact of the matter is, each and every one of us, we all hold the power for change, and we always have. And we shouldn't be relying on these people that really don't have our best interest in mind, because the only person that has your best interest in mind is going to be yourself. There's nobody else that looks out for you the way that you do. It doesn't matter if it's friends, family members, leaders, politicians, whoever. Nobody's going to look out for you the way that you look out for yourself. So to put this into perspective, let's think about all the people that we rely on to make change happen. All right, let's start with the FDA. So the FDA, we expect them not to put poison in our food. We expect them to actually block harmful ingredients and regulate the stuff that goes in our food the way that they should, so that we're not actively being poisoned every time we go out and buy groceries. But they don't do that. And they've proven time and time again that they don't do that. And there's a common misconception out there that a lot of the stuff that's in food is actually safe, and they have that GRAS, generally recognized as safe, label on a lot of the ingredients and stuff that's in the food. But that's a loophole, and it's been proven to be a loophole. And companies and corporations actually get away from regulating their own ingredients by putting that label on there, even though no actual testing has been done to verify whether or not that product is safe. So they're really allowing these companies and these corporations to regulate their own products and to basically tell the FDA, yes, it's safe, and the FDA doesn't double check on that. And to change that and reform that is probably going to take quite a bit, considering there are thousands, literally thousands of harmful food products that are added in food in America every single day. And to go through that and pull all those out probably isn't going to happen. And even if it were to happen, it's not going to happen overnight. And that whole process is going to take years, if not decades. And throughout that entire process, while we're waiting, everybody's still actively being poisoned. So that's one problem. The USDA is the same way. You know, we don't expect glyphosate and atrazine and pesticides and herbicides to be in our food. We don't expect our food to be grown in synthetic fertilizer in nutrient-void soil that is pumped and inundated full of harmful chemicals that contain PFAs and heavy metals and all this really bad stuff that humans are not meant to consume, and that actually is destroying our health. We don't expect them to do that, yet it happens. And instead of these regulators going after, you know, monoculture and big ag and holding all these chemical companies feet to the fire, saying that no, you're not putting this stuff on the crops, you're not putting it on the food, come up with a safer solution, and instead let's figure out regenerative agriculture and let's move towards that. Instead of doing that, they go after cows, one of the least toxic of all of the food sources that are on the planet, and one of the ones that does the least harm to the environment. And I know that's a controversial topic, but when cows are raised right, they sequester carbon. They make plants grow, they fertilize the soil, they regenerate the land. That is what cows do, if they're raised properly. Now there's a big distinction there, But again, waiting on these regulators is not going to get us anywhere, because it would take major reform of the food system to fix these problems. And the same thing goes with the government, because the government are in the pockets of these mega corporations, and the mega corporations are in the pockets of the government. They all lobby and they fund each other. And that's where the problem comes in. And again, to rely on them, to rely on major reform to happen, if it were to even happen, is going to take a very long time, and it's going to take significant change. And those are just a few examples. There are hundreds and hundreds more examples on why it's not a smart move to wait on these people to come save us. But the long and skinny of it is, it's simply not going to happen. There are too many things that would have to change in order for real, tangible change to happen. So with all that said, you're probably wondering, okay, that sounds horrible. Nobody's coming to save us. We're going to continue to get poisoned by our food system. How is that a good thing? How is the fact that we are on our own and that nobody's out there looking out for us, how is that a good thing? Well, it is a good thing, because we don't need them to make changes in our diet and lifestyle and make changes in our lives to improve our health, because everything that we need to do that is all around us. Even though it may not seem that way, and it might seem like everything out there is toxic, there are better options than the stuff that you find in grocery stores. And in the not so distant past, 60, 70 years ago, over 50% of the US population grew and produced their own food. And now that number is 0.1%. All right, so it's very, very minimal. We rely completely on the industrial food complex, but all it takes for us to regain our health and to make healthier lifestyle and dietary choices is to get back to that. Maybe not 100%, but as much as possible is going to have drastic improvements on your overall health. And the fact that we don't have to rely on them is a very empowering thing, because that means we don't have to wait. We can take control of our lives now. We can make small changes that are going to add up over time, because all of these small doses of toxins and chemicals that are in our food add up over time. And then that leads to all the chronic conditions, the weight gain, the obesity, the autoimmune conditions, all these horrible things that we're plagued with. It leads to all that. So to reverse that, if you're in that type of situation, it can be as simple as just doing the opposite of what you're doing now. The thing that got you there, do the opposite. And in a lot of cases, for most people, that's probably enough to get you started on the right path and improve your health. Because the longer we wait for somebody to come along and save us, the longer we just keep kicking the can down the road, the sicker and sicker the population continues to get. And that's actively playing out right before our eyes right now. We see it every single day. Anytime you go out in public, you go to the grocery store, the people you're surrounded by, a lot of people are sick. A lot of people are suffering. And America is not supposed to be that way. The US was once the most powerful, most resilient, the best country in the world. And I'm not saying that we're not now, but when you have a population of 60, 70% or better that are sick and overweight and obese and are in poor health, does that really sound like a population that's the most resilient, the most robust, and the strongest on the planet? I don't think it does. And that's a scary thing to think about, considering there's a lot of bad people out there, and there's a lot of people that don't like the US, and they would love to see us sick, and a weak population is probably easy to take over. Not saying that that's going to happen, but I can't help but think about that kind of stuff, because realistically it is a possibility. And if we were in that kind of situation, we'd be a lot better off if we were stronger and in better health. All right, so we don't have to wait on anybody to solve our problems, and we have everything we need to do it ourselves. But what exactly is everything we need to do it ourselves? So let's go through that real quick. So the number one thing, and I would say this probably goes even above nutrition and all the stuff I'm about to mention, is that we have each other. And that is the one thing that these people in charge, these people that are creating these policies that are essentially destroying our health, that's one thing they can never take away. They're trying to divide us. And there's a lot of people that would love to see us divided, and they would love to see that taken away. But as of right now, we have each other. We have community. If you're a member of the Apex tribe, you'll always have this tribe. You have your neighbors, you have your friends, your family. You have a lot of people around you that have been through the things that you're going through that you can rely on. It's a support group, and a support system can be one of the most beneficial things that you could possibly have, even above all the other stuff I'm about to mention. So that's why I mentioned that first. So after the support group, after the tribe and the family, I would say that the next thing is food and nutrition. That's always going to be at the very, very top of the list for me, just because of the health stuff I went through. And I completely reversed that with all meat carnivore diet. So I know the effects that diet has on the body and the healing power that food can have if you eat the right things. And that's the key takeaway there, is that if you eat the right things, because when I started my healing journey, I tried to eat a lot of different things, and some of those things offered some relief, but some of those things destroyed my health even further. So you have to make sure you're eating the right stuff. The next one would be water. I'm always harping about water. Water is not talked about nearly enough. Our bodies are 60% water. It makes sense that we would put the most high quality water in it that we could possibly find. And I hate to break it to you, but tap water is absolutely horrible. There's pesticides, herbicides in there. There's PFAs. There are pharmaceuticals, chlorine, fluoride, and a lot of stuff that we simply should not be consuming. So get tap water out of your life and drink real water from a trusted source. The next one is environmental toxins and toxic exposure. So everything that goes on your skin gets absorbed into your body. Everything. And that goes for everything from the laundry detergent that you wash your clothes in, to the clothes that you put on your back, to the lotions that you use, the cosmetics. It doesn't matter what it is. If you put it on your skin, it's getting absorbed into your skin, because your skin is your biggest organ, and we detox through our skin, but we don't think about it often enough. But we also absorb, again, everything that comes in contact with our skin. So it makes sense that what you would want to put on your skin is going to be premium quality stuff, and it's not going to be full of a bunch of harmful chemicals. When it comes to clothing that's made from petrochemicals, polyesters, synthetic materials, all those things, there's now more and more evidence being linked to the fact that they cause endocrine disruption, and they lead to hormone imbalances, and you know, they're linked to cancer and all these bad things. It's pretty much the same thing as if you were wearing plastic on your skin, because we all know plastic is not good for your health, especially as it's heated up. And the unfortunate thing is that a lot of workout clothing, and this is especially true for women in their undergarments, they're mostly made from synthetic materials. And they start, you know, they go to the gym in this stuff, they sweat in them. That sweat it's hot, it's getting absorbed back into their bloodstream with all these harmful substances that comes along with it. And that's leading to hormone disruption. And there's a lot of studies, again, out there that link this stuff directly to that. So those are just a couple more things to avoid. Prioritizing sleep is always going to be top of the list. Make sure you're getting plenty of sleep. Make sure that you are setting yourself up to be as healthy as possible so that you can sleep all the way through the night. And a lot of that starts with diet and nutrition. Limit EMF exposure. That's another big one. Blue light, screens, LED lighting. Limit your exposure from that as much as possible. And if you have to use that kind of stuff, you can use, you know, blue light blocking glasses. There's EMF blankets, Faraday cages, all that stuff you can use. There's a lot of ways to combat this. You can turn your Wi-Fi router off at night so that you don't have EMF and 5G flying around your house. Sleep with your cell phone away from your bed. Make sure that your router is not in your bedroom where you sleep. All these things are going to add up, and they're going to have positive impacts on your health. Don't use plastic for anything that you consume food out of. Bottled water, all that stuff, make sure it's in glass containers or stainless steel. Cookware, get away from anything that has PFOAs in there. PFAs, that would be anti-stick coatings. Stainless steel or cast iron, use a grill. Again, there are options out there, and everything we need to make change happen for ourselves is all around us, and it always has been. And it's as simple as getting back to the basics and focusing on the things that got us here. It's really as simple as that. So I think one of the biggest mistakes that we continue to make is the fact that we kind of sit on our hands and we wait for this hero to show up and save us. But it's not going to happen, and that is an amazing thing. And when you realize this, and you wake up from that dream that everybody's living, thinking that somebody's going to arrive and solve all your problems, you become empowered, and you make it a point to solve them yourself. So if you're ready to take that step, and you're ready to solve your problems, you're tired of waiting around on this stuff, and you just want to get it done, you want to improve your health, you want to improve the health of you and your family, comment "I'm a hero" below. That way I know you're out there, I know that you're waking up to this fact, and I know you're ready to get it done. Join this tribe. We're solving these problems together. And through tribes like this, and there's a lot of other ones out there, I think we can make it happen. We can drive enough change to make change happen for the entire country. I really do believe that. And it all starts with us. So if you haven't done so already, be sure to like, subscribe, join the Apex tribe. I'll see you in the next one. All right, peace out.